Well, hey there, pipe tube community. Pipe tube. There we go. That's a good one. Good way to start. YouTube pipe community. Uh, a lot better today than I was Monday. I'll tell you, if I was any better today, I'd probably be twins. But the purpose of this video is to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart that sent your prayers, your mojo, your thoughts, got us on prayer lists all over the country. I mean, I had responses as far away from Germany. And just goes to show you never can tell. You don't know what's going to happen today. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. No guarantees. So what I wanted to do was give an update on what's been going on since last Sunday and last Monday again. Um, God, I just can't say thank you enough. If I could reach out and hug each and every one of you, it's just been unbelievable. The response, the comments, and the PMs that I've received, and I'm doing everything I can to personally get back with everybody. I'll either leave a comment uh, where yours is, or I'll answer your PM. But man, all I can say is what a loving community this is. It's unbelievable. And what I've been here a couple of weeks. You kidding me? You get a response like that. People don't know you from Adam. Well, suffice it to say, I can never say thank you enough. And I'm absolutely overwhelmed by your thoughts, prayers, generosity, and everything. So, everybody knows last Sunday my wife was in the hospital. She is on her fourth day right now of steroid treatment. She will wind up having to have some surgery, some kind of fusion or laser surgery or something on her back. She still is in considerable pain. And but I'm trusting and believing that everything will just keep rolling right along and will come out come out fine. It's going to be a long process, and that's okay. There's no hill for Deborah about lawsuit. We've been there before. We've been through better. We've been for worse, and that's what the deal was. But just thanks again. I just can't say much and get more beyond that. But so I think that she's coming along a bit, and we'll find out in a couple of days when her treatment's done where she stands and what's going on. As far as my sister-in-law down in Alexandria, most of y'all know that she was airlifted from Jackson Parish down there. They had some specialists down there in Alexandria that had actually worked on my brother-in-law, her husband. We pretty much lost her twice. They brought her back, had her on a ventilator. She couldn't breathe. She was basically comatose. They were uh, not sure if there was any brain activity, so it was not great. But she started getting her color back. She opened her eyes, wasn't speaking, didn't recognize people at that point. Yesterday, thank God, she sat up in the bed, couldn't speak because she had some tubes running down her, and um, but she could acknowledge people that were in the room, and they asked her questions. Her immediate family did. They asked her questions, and she could answer them by nodding her head, yes or no. So that uh, gives us hope with the brainwave activity that that'll all be okay. Uh, that's going to be a process too. So really, I continue to ask you to keep my family in your prayers. Send me that mojo. Good thoughts, good vibrations, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. We're all different. We're all creatures with free will. So whatever works for you, whatever you're comfortable with, I'm comfortable with that, with accepting it. I did neglect in the middle of all this. My brother-in-law has been battling cancer for 2, 3 years. And, had the colostomy bags and this and that. He had the same cancer I had, colon cancer. And my wife's mother died from it. One of her brothers died from it. So when I got it, she was scared to death. And when Dow Jr. got it, he was scared to death too. But he pulled through. But at the same time, a good friend of theirs that they've known for over 40 years got colon cancer too. He's down there in South Louisiana. And he passed away Thanksgiving morning. So my brother-in-law has been, and the funeral was yesterday, and he couldn't get down to South Louisiana. He couldn't leave his wife in ICU. Oh, it's a kind of a rough deal on him. So if you'd include him in your prayers too, I'd sure appreciate it. Just don't stop. Just keep on going, guys. Those of you that are faithful to the end, just keep on going. And add him to the prayer list. My Christmas wish to everybody is that their families are healthy. This has kind of changed our whole outlook. We've had huge Christmases, packages everywhere. Big deal. Doesn't mean that much to us anymore. Not this year. We want our family to be together. We want to break bread together. We're not so interested in what's at the store, or what somebody can give us, or what we can give somebody else. We can give them our love. Let me tell you something. All this has proven to me more than I've ever believed it. This is a tough one right here. This is Comoy's pipe, by the way. It's a Thames 225 made in London, England. I dedicate it to Virginia's, and I'm smoking McBaron Virginia #1. And if you don't sip it, it will bite you like a badger. And actually, if anybody else has another great Virginia that you could recommend, go ahead and put it down there for me. Lost her. That's okay. That's not too bad. Bear with me a minute. First smoke I've had in 4 days. I've been so nervous and just everything going on. So that's our Christmas wish to y'all, is that you find yourselves in great health and take time to hug people, man. I'm one of these hugger guys. I'm just a big teddy bear. I've got a 25-year-old son, lives over in Oklahoma City, and I wasn't raised like that. My parents came from a generation where their parents didn't use the phrase "I love you" a lot. Well, they were loved. Everybody knew it. I know my parents loved me, but one of the first times I heard it when my daddy was 92 years old on his deathbed, and he looked at me and he says, "I love you." And I got a 25-year-old son over in Oklahoma City. Just talked to him today. 25 years old. And he never fails before that phone call gets hung up. Said, "Dad, I love you." I said, "I love you, son." So do that. If you have any estranged relatives or friends, pick somebody. Fix that. That's what kind of Christmas present would that be? Just fix it. Let it go and move on. Just fix it. Again, just thanks so much. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. I mean that. I can't. If you cut me open, look inside. That's what you'd see right now. Uh, anyway, moving on a little bit. It's cold here in Tulsa. It was 19 degrees, snowing last night. It's not snowing right now, of course. We've got everything we're dealing with. It's kind of like when you have a situation like a tornado go through or a hurricane, it tears things up. You're always left with the cleanup, and that's where we are right now. Dealing with cleanup. But that brings up another problem. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 12 years old. And, uh, I ride in a lot of charity events in the summertime. It's great. I mean, we ride all over the place. If there's a charity event, I mean, we're almost every weekend on a charity event for somebody, whether it's March of Dimes, Cancer Sucks, which is a local charity that's great. You name it, we've done it. American Cancer Society, Kidney Foundation, American Heart Society, or whatever they're called. Doesn't matter. We get out there and ride, run poker runs, and raise money. Well, we do Toys for Tots every year. And actually in Tulsa, you've got an Abate, Toy for Tots, and a Salvation Army. And what made me think of this, I just saw the shirt that I was wearing here. Last one my wife and I rode in, it was 18 degrees. And I'm going to tell you what, it was uncomfortable, buddy. I mean, it was a hard ride, but well worth it. So they've canceled ours. We've got down at one of the local Harley stores here in Tulsa. We got our annual Christmas party down at Myers-Doran. We got two here, Route 66 and Myers-Doran. Quite a spread that's laid out. It's a lot of good fellowship. And it's absolutely great. But so in your area, I mean, I've been watching these videos, all these Yabo openings, and look what I got, and hey, that's great, man. More power to you. I'm happy for you. If you get a big box of pipes or a big box of tobacco, that's great. Absolutely great. Do this for me. Don't forget about your family first and what you can give them. And then get a hold of your local ABATE or local Salvation Army or the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps also works in tandem with Salvation Army here. And take some toys out there to them. Inclement weather always slows that down. There's a lot of kiddies that aren't going to be getting much for Christmas because it's not that they're not loved, it's their family situation. Well, instead of buying one more bag of Penzance or 4 ounces of Navy Flake or something like that, buy 2 ounces of Navy Flake. Take the money, go down and buy a game, a doll, a toy, something, and take it down to your Marine Corps representatives or your Salvation Army or your ABATE or there's a group everywhere, and help them out a little bit. Leaves me with one thing to say. I was talking about doing a reason for the season. I'm about out of time here, so that's still another day. But there was a time when there was a guy named Joseph who was all he cared about was his well-being of his wife and his baby, and there wasn't any room in that inn. And they didn't have anything. But they found a manger to rest in that night and give birth to that baby boy. So, to my way of thinking, it all worked out pretty good. So, just think about that. Think about that. I got to leave you now. We're coming up on the 15 minutes. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, my family's hearts, we love you guys. We thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the flip-flop. Adios.